In Titus 2 in the King James Version, it says that women are to be the keepers of their home. And when you dive a little bit further and translate that to the Greek, keepers of the home translates to guard and dwelling. So women are called to guard their dwelling. And what that really translates to is to be the people who set the tone for their home. Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Melody and I make faith-based content here on YouTube. I post new videos every single Monday. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely be sure and subscribe. I would love to have you join the family. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about a topic that I have been learning about and growing in firsthand over the last 3 years. And this topic is, drumroll, homemaking. And I can't lie, I never thought I would make a video on this specific subject because I never thought I would have anything new to add to the conversation. And for that to kind of make sense, let's rewind a little bit. So at 12 years old, my parents divorced. And after that point, I kind of just saw my mom do the darn thing. She kind of handled everything in the home. She also worked outside of the home, but there was never any conversations that I had with her about any habits that she had developed to keep our household running. I never talked to her about how to incorporate God into how she takes care of the home. And I definitely didn't understand back then, and not until honestly recently, that God calls all women to be the keeper of their home. Whether they are single or married, whether they have children or not, whether they live in a house and own the house, or live in an apartment, or live with family. So today I'm gonna be sharing 5 homemaking habits that I've been implementing slowly. Okay, it's been a slow process over the last 3 years that have really helped me and my heart posture when it comes to taking care of my home. Now, before we hop into it, I think it's important that we kind of talk about what homemaking is and what homemaking isn't. Nowadays, homemaking can be kind of like a buzzword that's synonymous with homesteading or being a stay-at-home mom, or wearing aprons or only wearing dresses. And while all of those things are beautiful in and of themselves, none of them are only for homemakers. None of them are the definition of what it means to be a homemaker. In Titus 2 in the King James Version, it says that women are to be the keepers of their home. And when you dive a little bit further and translate that to the Greek, keepers of the home translates to guard and dwelling. So women are called to guard their dwelling. And what that really translates to is to be the people who set the tone for their home. We're called to provide structure and routine and a place of comfort and so much more. And to do all of this as if it is unto the Lord, because it is. Homemaking is inviting God into the process of how you manage and run your home. Homemaking is controlling the atmosphere of your home and making sure it's an inviting place. When people walk into your home, they also have the opportunity to meet Jesus. So with all that being said, and now that we're on the same page about what homemaking is and what homemaking isn't, let's go ahead and dive into 5 habits that I've been implementing over the last 3 years as a newish mom, a newish wife, and someone that is also new to homemaking. So number 1 on our list, the very first homemaking habit is having the right priorities and then letting these priorities guide our moment to moment and our day to day. Now, I got this idea out of a book called The Creative Counterpart. I will have it linked down below. It's been really great, a great read, as again, I'm just like a newly-ish wife, a newly-ish mom. It's all been a big learning curve for me, and this book has been really great guidance. And so something that the author talks about is having the right priorities, meaning we live our life in alignment with what actually is most important and not letting something that's not that important take priority. And I know for myself, that is where I start to feel stressed when something that is like number 5 on the priority list, I'm making it and treating it as if it is number 1. So I'm going to share with you the list of these 6 priorities and the hierarchy that they go in. So number 1 is God. Number 2 is my husband. Number 3 is children. Number 4 is the home. Number 5 is myself. And number 6 is outside of the home. And so I found for myself, it was so easy for me to take number 6 outside of the home, which would be work, which would be hanging out with friends. But for me specifically, it would be work. And I would put work at like number 2 or number 3. And so I'm constantly feeling this stress of, oh my gosh, I gotta get this done. I gotta get this done. And I was missing that it was never supposed to be that high on my priority list. And that's not to say that I don't get my work done. Like, hello, we are showing up here every single Monday, putting a new video out, being consistent on Instagram, running my membership club. But I make sure that before I jump into work, I'm spending time with God. Before I'm jumping into work, I'm making sure that I said hello to my husband and I made him some dinner that night. Or before I'm jumping into work, I'm making sure that I sat down with my baby and I played with her. So having this list of priorities and letting it guide me has allowed me to keep the stress of balancing so many things at bay. Not to say that I don't feel stressed sometimes, but oftentimes when I do, I realize, man, my priorities are just out of whack. And so for my sisters that are single, for my sisters that are maybe don't have children yet, your list is going to look a little bit different, but definitely just take it to the Lord. Make sure first and foremost that God is always at number 1, and then ask God to guide you on what things should come after that. And then once God gives you that priority list, move in accordance with it. So number 2 on our list, the second homemaking habit is to make it easy where you can and get help. And so I want to be super transparent with you guys about all the help that I have here around the house. First and foremost, we do have cleaners. We have people that come every 2 weeks. And so my husband and I only really have to worry about tidying day in and day out. And that has taken a big weight off of our shoulders. Another thing that we started doing this year, and I'm super excited about it, is we have a Wild Grain subscription box. If you've never heard of Wild Grain, they are the very first ever bake from frozen subscription box for sourdough breads, fresh pastas, and artisanal pastries. Every single item bakes from frozen in under 25 minutes, and it is fresh and ready to go. I'm sure you guys have seen all of the girlies getting into the sourdough starter and making their bread. And for me, while it is definitely something that I'd love to do one day, it's just not the season of life that I'm in right now. But Wild Grain is actually allowing me to give my family that fresh sourdough bread and these really great pastries as if I did it on my own, but I had some help. Our personal favorite right now is the croissant, and I've never baked a croissant at home before, but having it come out of the oven being all flaky and warm, it just hits like no other. With Wild Grain, you can fully customize your box. So whether you want 5 loaves of bread or maybe just 2, or 3 batches of pasta or maybe just 1, they make it so easy for you to get what you need and get that delivered right to your door. For a limited time, you can get $30 off your first box plus free croissants in every box when you go to wildgrain.com/melody to start your subscription. You heard me right, sis. Free croissants with every box and $30 off your first box when you go to wildgrain.com/melody. And one more time, that is wildgrain.com/melody, or you can go to Wild Grain and at checkout input the code MELODY. So thank you so much to Wild Grain again for sponsoring this portion of the video and for helping me along on my homemaking journey. All right, sis, so that is habit number 2. Let's go ahead and hop into homemaking habit number 3. So habit number 3 today, our third homemaking habit, is to do things in batches and like do it one bite at a time. Oftentimes there are things around the house where it feels like a big elephant. Like we need to clean out the garage. What a big task. We need to clean out that coat closet. We need to rotate our baby's clothes. We need to do this big kind of tedious task, and it feels really overwhelming. But I found that when I break it up into bites, like you can't eat an elephant all at once. You got to eat it bite by bite. That's the concept that I try to apply when it comes to projects around the home and just the overall home maintenance. So some of the ways that I implement this specific habit is to keep 1 load of laundry going at all times. Now we're only a family of 3, but I feel like as I'm implementing this habit, as our family grows, Lord willing, one day, I'm not pregnant, okay? But Lord willing, one day, this habit will sustain me as there are more clothes to be cleaned. Something else that we also try to do, my husband and I, is just close the kitchen every night. Load up that dishwasher, because I've found starting the day with a clean-ish, it doesn't have to be perfect, but a clean-ish kitchen makes all the difference with just my anxiety and how I feel about getting in there and trying to get everything together for everyone in the beginning of the day. Something else that I also try to do is set every month like the big project. What is the big thing that I'd like to accomplish this month? And oftentimes the big thing is just cleaning out the closet, going through the toys, donating some clothes. Like, it's nothing massive, but when I don't try to do it in one day or 1 week even and give myself that time, it doesn't feel as overwhelming. And so that is the biggest reason why I like to implement this habit, because I found that I would feel really overwhelmed, and then when I get overwhelmed, I kind of just like veg out and I don't do anything. And so this keeps me moving and making progress in the right direction. So that is going to be habit number 3. So number 4 on our list today, the 4th homemaking habit is to work as if you are doing it for God, because sis, you are. Now, before we get too far into it, I want to go ahead and pop up a Bible verse on the screen where this specific habit stems from. And it is in the book of Colossians. So read along with me, sis. It is Colossians chapter 3, verse 23 and 24. And it says, whatever you do, do it from the heart as something done for the Lord and not for people, knowing that you will receive the reward of an inheritance from the Lord. You serve the Lord Christ. So for me, this is a habit that I have to go back to time and time again, because it keeps bitterness and saltiness from entering into my heart and taking root. Because honestly, a lot of the tasks that we do as homemakers, as the keepers of our home, they can go unnoticed. Cleaning up all of the toys at the end of the day, putting the couch back together, rearranging the furniture, all these little things that make the home more hospitable and more cozy and more of an inviting place, they can go unnoticed. And I found that if I'm waiting for my husband to praise me, or I'm waiting for my toddler to praise me, which who knows when that will ever happen. At the end of the day, if I'm waiting to get praise from my husband, or I'm waiting from recognition of someone walking in my house and saying, wow, it's spotless, it's so nicely decorated, I am getting my worth from what they are saying back to me. I'm not just doing it because this is something that God is calling me to do, because he has given me these things. And so this just keeps my heart in a humble position. And again, it keeps the bitterness and the saltiness at bay. So I think if nothing else, make sure that you are implementing this habit, sis. So number 5 on our list, our 5th and final homemaking habit, is to enjoy the journey and to stop rushing. I have these moments often where I feel like I'm running out of time. Oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And I feel like the Lord reminds me time and time again, Melody, just do it with me. You have plenty of time in the day. Now, this definitely comes down to wise time management as well. But this feeling and this pressure of gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta do this. Take one step at a time with the Lord. And in that, enjoy the journey. I was recently listening to a sermon. I'll have it linked down below for you. I have been absolutely loving Journey Church. It is in Orlando, Florida. My best friend goes there. And so she's got me on to listen to the sermons. And it's just been blessing my life. But in this particular sermon, the pastor talked about it is not about us getting to the destination. So it's not about us getting to be these perfect homemakers. It is about enjoying the process with the Lord and going through it. So that's why I wanted us to end on this particular habit. Sis, enjoy the journey. Enjoy the progress that you see day in and day out. Enjoy the things that the Lord is highlighting to you in the small moments. I think when we're able to see the beauty of being the keepers of our home, that really is the point of it all. So that is going to be habit number 5. All right, sis, that is going to be it for me. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Thank you again one more time to Wild Grain for sponsoring a portion of today's video. Again, you can check out the link in my description box to get you $30 off your first box, as well as free croissants. Now, with all of that being said, of course, it is now your turn. So in the comments below, I would love to know, where are you in your homemaking journey? If you're anything like me, maybe you're kind of on this fast track and trying to figure it out, or maybe you are already a pro, or maybe it's kind of been something on your mind, but you're not really sure where to get started. So let us know down below. I think it'll be really encouraging for us to just share openly and honestly where we are on this homemaking journey, because again, this is something that God is calling all women to do. We are all called to be the keepers of our home. So let us know in the comments, and definitely take a second and scroll on through. As always, I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Peace.